What you are about to hear is an audio description of the forthcoming book, The Misappropriation of Hip Hop.
Throughout television's history, Black and Latinos have struggled both with blatant and subtle stereotyping. Prime examples in the past have been the buffoonery of Amos and Andy in the 1940s, and most recently, the hip-hop orientated The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Forward to the present day, and if you have the inclination, you can see the music television's many stations presenting a normalized image of Black expression concerned only with material gain and partying and rife with tomfoolery. This disingenuous portrayal by some of the media is not only damaging to the people depicted, but also allows for an unwarranted prejudice by others sold on these negative descriptions, which appear to provide many people's main awareness of the Black experience. This book is intended to find answers to a question that has persistently recurred in the conversations of hip-hop aficionados. That is, whether hip-hop has been misappropriated. I will give examples of the meaning of the misappropriation of hip-hop by considering these 5 pivotal questions. 1. Were the political and social conditions of Black and Latino youth in the South Bronx a major factor in the formation of hip-hop? 2. What are the consequences of the dominant negative Black and Latino image on the consumers of hip-hop? 3. What was the original intent of hip-hop culture at its formation? 4. What is the significance of knowledge of self in relation to hip-hop? And 5. Have advancement in technology decided the shape of hip-hop? If so, should we regard this as a positive evolution?
The formation of hip-hop culture.
A man with an all-encompassing musical curiosity and a unifying vision for his local community in the South Bronx, New York, Africa Bambaataa created the Universal Zulu Nation on the 12th of November 1973. Bambaataa had a desire to channel the energies of the young gangs in his community away from drugs and violence into something more positive. Bam saw that a nexus of creative art forms emerging in his community could provide a way of redirecting the misguided youth, and so he unified these elements and called it hip-hop.
The creator of hip-hop culture, Africa Bambaataa of the Universal Zulu Nation.
The culture of hip-hop started with the Universal Zulu Nation. The name itself was set with Lubbock Stofsky was using his terminology and his rap to the hip. Cowboys from the spirit side used to say to the hop, and Lubbock put it together saying hip-hop. But when it came to asking what should we call it, it was Africa Bambaataa to the Universal Zulu Nation say, we call this whole thing hip-hop. And that's when the name started taking on, and that's when I started adding elements.
At the point of its defining, hip-hop incorporated the following 5 elements. 1. B-boying, breakdancing and body popping. 2. Rapping, also known as emceeing, toasting, and rhyming. 3. DJing, scratch mixing and turntablism. 4. Graffiti, aerosol arts. And 5. Knowledge of self. These elements, breaking, DJing, emceeing, and rapping, can only be better appreciated when encompassed with this fifth, largely unknown element of hip-hop, knowledge of self, commonly referred to by hip-hop enthusiasts as the fifth element. African Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation defined hip-hop as a culture with this fifth element, knowledge being a central component.
Well, the hip-hop generations, there's a lot of them that got to wake up from the spell of Kinku, the spell of sleep, the spell of Leviathan, 666. Because we got to get people back to that fifth element of hip-hop, get them back to the knowledge. Because too many are caught up on just the partying, and not dealing with all the elements of hip-hop. They just deal with the rap side of hip-hop. So we got to let them know it's a culture. And come back to that fifth element, the knowledge. Because without the knowledge, this is what controls and holds everything together.
A common belief in this fifth element has found expression in many ancient civilizations around the world. The ancients believed that everything is made up of four elements: air, water, fire, and earth, and that these four elements all had at their core a common substance, which was regarded as the essence or oneness. Bambaataa, aware of these beliefs, felt this knowledge and the philosophy behind it should be an intrinsic and necessary part of hip-hop.
Now we will explore the intention of knowledge of self in relation to hip-hop culture.
Bambaataa always imparted the necessity to employ knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in every aspect of life and personal expression. The ancient Egyptians would define this as the precepts of Mayat, but believed that self-knowledge should not be the only focus. Seeking self-development and improvement should. This ideology is central to the core of hip-hop, although largely ignored or unbeknownst to the majority of the hip-hop population today. This widespread ignorance of the founding principles of the hip-hop cultural movement, particularly of its fifth element, is why I felt it necessary to write this book. I have also been motivated by my personal desire to break out of the restrictions hip-hop has been placed in since finding its global success in the form of core modified gangster rap music. These five elements, breaking, DJing, MCing, rapping, and knowledge of self, should be seen as the rites of passage for its young participants in order that they can come to understand the importance of non-violent, competitive, artistic expression. These resourceful rudiments, if understood and practiced correctly, can further teach the importance of self-development, family, and community.